What's up, everybody? Welcome back to iWin Entertainment. We are here for an episode 4 confessional with the one, the only, Sam Duncan. She's part of the Perla tribe. And Sam, what's on your mind right now? What's the first thing on your mind? I know you like the questions, but what's on your mind right now?
Yeah. So okay, I think I just really need to like stop doing the most and everything will be fine. It's like the first thing. Um because I kind of like was in the mindset of I don't know what mindset I was in, but I just wanted to make sure all my bases were covered. And so I'll further explain this. So like I did some things because then all of the bases would be covered. But then I had a conversation that I was like, oh, I didn't really need to do that, I guess. So basically I just kind of like gave just before I got in the shower, I gave Chris, who's my husband. It's really fun saying that because it's still new. A little rundown of like, the road so far. And so let me just do that real quick. So I'm in a three-person alliance, the BJs, with Juan and Brandon, and that's great. That was like round one. And then round two, Emily was like, hey, we should make something with Juan. And I was like, cool. So now I'm in like a three with Juan and Emily. Um, Tentatively named Obsidian something. I don't know. It's not officially named yet, but it is officially an alliance. And then round three comes around, we vote out Bill, which my quick thoughts on Bill, I will say, I mean, it was unfortunate. I think Bill and I could have worked really well together. Voting out Bill had nothing really to do with how much I thought I could work with Bill or like trust Bill. I honestly believed every word that he said when he said he would be Perla strong, he would be here for the tribe. Specifically with me, I think we were off to a great start, but I know myself well enough to know that I really am a high maintenance ally, and I just don't think, you know, I was going to be able to really work with Bill and not like lose my mind because Bill's never online. So yeah, so then that happened. And that kind of just leaves Izzy in the mix of like our tribe dynamics where, we have those two little pockets of like three, with obviously the overlap, and then Izzy on the outside of that. So I got to thinking yesterday what today's conversations might look like. Considering, I mean, we did okay in the immunity challenge, but I don't think we did well enough to secure first. And regardless, we're going to be coming into tonight into results prepared regardless, but we kind of felt the pressure even more to be prepared, because our score was like average. I think it was anyway. So that being said, I'm thinking, okay, what names do I think are going to like float around? I'm thinking it's been a mix of Bill, Izzy, Emily. Bill's gone now, so probably between Izzy and Emily. I really don't want to see Emily go anywhere. I do think she's like a really big asset to my game, and I don't know, I'm just not ready. I'm not ready to let that go yet. And so, based on how previous rounds had gone, I was kind of working under the assumption that Brandon may not want to vote out Izzy. And so, just in case that was like actually going to be a thing, I was just like, I need to maybe see what I can do to like mitigate that. So, it just got me to thinking, if that's not an option, like the only other option is Izzy. And if I'm talking with my Obsidian trio, then the only realistic options are like Brandon and Izzy. So like what's that conversation gonna look like? So anyways, it just got me thinking. I'm like, oh no. Oh no. What if Brandon is just like hard no, I really don't want to vote out Izzy. And now like we're stuck. Like, do we as the Obsidian trio vote that way anyway and then do damage control after, or do we need to consider Brandon? And then I spiraled. it just, I don't know, Brandon's really good. But then I don't know, I woke up today and then I actually had a conversation with Brandon after all of my other conversations today, and they're fine with voting, you see. So yeah. Um, so yeah, like I kind of like spiraled for no reason, but you know what, if it's not about that, it's going to be about something else. So I'm sure it would have happened about something else anyway. Um, and so now I'm in this spot where leading up to potentially going to tribal tonight. Um, my relationship with Izzy is great. I feel like, if there's only a short opportunity for her to speak with someone or call with someone, like she'll call with me like right before she goes into work or whatever, like I will always, or I have always been kind of in the loop in that sense with Izzy. And so, there's no easy vote here tonight. There's nobody that's um like detrimental to my game right now. So like it's kind of hard to like make that choice. It's like, okay, so if nobody's like really inherently bad, then like who's the most good? And that ultimately I think is what made the decision for almost all of us tonight, if everyone isn't lying to me. And those are my current thoughts.
You're so well spoken. So explain to me, because I caught the tail end of your challenge. You said it was sort of average. Was there anybody like weighing the tribe down with their ideas that like took up time and then sort of derailed? Speak on just like how cohesive and did your tribe coalesce during that challenge?
Mhm. I mean, overall, I think we did really well. We were off to like a really strong start. I'm pretty sure for the first set of words, we breezed through them. We didn't like accrue any additional points other than like the minimum amount for just getting through solving it. So we're like, yeah, like we're gonna crush this. And then we get to the second one. And I think we were all pretty good at like checking in with each other, like before we confirmed an answer, or somebody needed an extra minute to think. Like I think we did really work to get like well together in that sense. So when it came to the word countdown, we were like, it's probably not countdown, because like that's almost like two words. Like maybe it's like count and then like the following word will be down. And so we kind of got hung up there and like racked up a bunch of extra points that way. And it honestly, like, I think it kind of fell on all of us pretty equally, just because our communication was so good. So I don't think there's like anybody we could kind of single out. And then from there, we kind of just like, I think we did average, where we got a few extra points, but like nothing like overwhelmingly bad. So like I think the parts we did really good at and the parts we did really bad at, plus like the middle parts, kind of just averaged out to an okay score.
Okay. Um, kind of touched base on like the potential of y'all having to vote at tribal council. What's your gut saying about like, are you guys going to tribal, or is your gut saying
Um,
squeaked by this one?
okay, so my gut was saying that I feel like I was, honestly, my gut has been like flip-flopping. It's an gut today, because at first I was like, okay, I think
Flip-flopping
we're
gut today. I can't with you.
so like I um I was like okay with it at first. I was like, you know what, I think we did enough to stay out of last. And then, then it's like, oh, there's something at 8:45 or 9:45, like an announcement, everybody be online. So I'm like, okay, we're probably swapping. Probably better for us to swap at an even number rather than an odd number. So maybe it's another double. So now like the okay score is kind of like, oh shit, that's probably not good enough. We're probably in the bottom two. So now like, yeah. And then Juan did some recon work. Juan is at the fortune teller right now. And so he talked to Thomas and Julia Brown and Rachel. And they kind of compared scores and stuff. And now obviously we're taking it with a grain of salt because they could just be lying. But it sounds like Zafiro did very poorly. Ametista did great. And the other one, Rubino, also they don't feel like they did well. So at first it sounded like there was like 23, a score of 23, our score is 25. And then a really bad one, and then potentially another 25, but I don't know if like Juan like got it wrong or if like they changed the number after the fact, but it sounds like Juan is now pretty convinced that there are two other teams pretty firmly in the bottom. But my personal guess is that I think it's still a toss-up. I think there's a clear loser and a clear winner, and perhaps we tied in the middle. So I wouldn't be surprised if the tiebreaker answer comes into play, is kind of where I'm at.
All right,
Yeah.
thank you for that. You actually mentioned something I wasn't on my mind. The announcement. Talk through it a little bit more. I know this is something like this drives somebody like Sandy crazy because it's like very ominous, and you are planning for tribal and you don't know if you won, and then this announcement comes and you mentioned it. Now it's like, is it two people going? Blah, blah, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I do expect, yeah, like two separate tribes going to their own tribal, kind of like last round. And then at when we all of us hop on a Zoom, I think, what do I think? Yeah, I think just so this is based on how like the bunkers are set up. I feel like because there is the north side and the south side, that will probably be two tribes of 8 if it's a double, each, and then we'll just get separated into like two separate tribes on either side. The other option is like 3 tribes of 6, but just with how the season is set up, um I don't know, thematically it's weird, like you have like one corner that's empty. I don't know, that's why I think it'd be like half and half. um yeah, and honestly at this point, whether we win or lose, whether we vote somebody out or not, um obviously I would rather not vote anybody out. Like that would be fantastic. I'm actually pretty excited and like to see like if we are merging, not merging, swapping, and things are going to get shaken up a little bit. I'm really excited to talk to other people because I feel comfortable and confident in the relationships I have on OG Perla. So now, you know, I think the longer I stay here, the higher the chances are that I get called out on my bullshit. So like I'm like, cool, I'm ready. I like bye. Let's move on. These relationships are great. Let me not fuck them up. Let me go make some new ones, and then we'll meet back up at the merge.
Okay. Rachel, Rocky, did you have anything that you wanted to ask? I am good.
I don't think so. I was gonna ask about the announcement in case you forgot, but interesting take. I know you were mentioning how you were thinking about Brandon, and I think that's really interesting and how you're thinking ahead. So yeah, if you want to touch more on that, if you think like, did you talk to Brandon today? Do you have different vibes from them? Like, let me know your thoughts on that.
Yeah, so we did talk, and I think like the things that I was worried about like them maybe not being willing to vote Izzy out, or like me having to be put in a tough situation where now I have to come up with reasons why I don't want to vote Emily that would make sense to Brandon. Um, if it was a matter of me trying to push an agenda, so that kind of like started all of that. But also, I see a lot of like the way that I play the game in them as well. And honestly, it scared me. I was just like, I don't want to deal with that. Like, I don't like, I don't know. I see how I play and I would never want to play with me. Like, are you fucking kidding me? It sounds like a nightmare. Like I can be a great ally. Like if I'm with you, I'm with you. That's one. But if you're anybody else, like, ooh, I don't know, not it's probably not like the best time. So I kind of got in my head about that a little bit. I ended up going back. Part of it, what got me in my head a little bit. So I noticed that Brandon had played in the mini with you, Rachel, but also Julia G and Thomas and Robin. And like there was like the five imposters and the five, I forget what the other ones were called. So like they had all made it like down to like the very end or whatever. And you know, there's been some questions about Julia G that have come up because like Juan had made a one-on-one with her. And apparently, like she's like spreading that Juan showed her how to use the divine power machine. And it was kind of like weird and messy. So we're just like talking. I think we were talking in our like three-way chat, the BJs, and um just trying to like gain some insight on Julia G. Like, is it just chaos and mess, or is it like calculated and like, you know, like we're just trying to get a feel for it. And I feel like if I had played in a mini or something, maybe just had like the smallest sense of anything, I would put my 2 cents in and just be like, well, maybe it's this, right? I'm pretty open about my prior connections. I don't have anything to hide. I don't feel like, I don't know, some people look at it a certain type of way, but like it's all out there on the internet for everyone to see. So like I'm not really worried about it. So basically, Brandon's never mentioned any of this. And I think back, like talking about Rachel, I know we've both played games with Rachel. And so like I talk about it openly and Brandon says nothing. So to be fair, I didn't ask, right? It's, he doesn't like, they don't owe me anything. If I ask and things get weird, then I think I probably have something more to worry about. So my concerns about like the potential vote, and then with all of that stuff that I'm like, why isn't Brandon telling me any of this stuff? And then because I was looking on the iEntertainment channel at like the mini video, I noticed the Gamers Paradise confessionals. So I went down that rabbit hole. And Brandon's just so smart. I don't know. I love their brain. I really, really do. But it just reminded me of my brain. And I was just like, oh, that's scary. I don't want to deal with that. If that, like, if they pick up steam and they make merge and they just keep winning out, like that, like there's no dealing with that. And there's no way that I would want to sit next to Brandon. That means there's no way Brandon would want to sit next to me. And now I message my prod chat with like that wall of text being like, do I try to get Brandon out? Yeah, anyways, it's fine. I've come to my senses. Yeah, sure, it's scary, but I'm capable and I'll deal with it when the time comes. I don't think that time is now.
Thank
That's
you
all I
very
got.
much, Sam.
Sam is amazing.
She is. I told y'all. I told y'all. Do you have anything else you want to get off your chest before we wrap this up and prepare for the lights, the generator to turn on?
No, I don't think so. I think that's everything.
All right, Queen, it's been a pleasure. You're all good for episode 4. We may or may
Awesome.
not be seeing you at Tribal, but if you're around for the announcement, we will